Well, I know a lot of you guys have been spamming me about this. I know I wasn't able to make this video yesterday, but it's time we have the conversation. Rune Slayer, Type Soul, combined, question mark. Now, if you don't know, or for some reason, the Type Soul development team is now working for Rune Slayer. For whatever reason that is, they are working for Rune Slayer. Now, I am assuming John, Sin, and Saven brought in the Type Soul development team in order to make sure updates come at a faster pace. I know the developers are managing and doing what they can. They want to push out big content expansion updates as well as PvP and PvE oriented updates to the game. They want more content for the game, but there's only so much the three of them can do, so they brought along extra hands to help with that. My question is, why these guys? Now, don't get it twisted. I know Tam is a good developer, but Type Soul as a whole, Setro Boomin, all of those guys, we're not gonna even get into the messy side of it. However, these guys couldn't balance a four-legged horse if the horse was standing right in front of them. That horse would still be tripping and fumbling everywhere. No, these guys are incapable of balancing, providing content updates in Type Soul. It doesn't even mix. These guys couldn't fix the Battle Royale update. If you don't know, queuing in the Battle Royale update was broken for days at a time, and when they finally did resolve the issue, there wasn't enough players in a single lobby to even start a match. For some reason, they didn't add being able to go into servers, or for some reason, they didn't add being able to server hop or join fuller servers with the Battle Royale queue. These same developers haven't had a good content expansion update since release. When the boss mode came out, the bosses were so unbalanced and I'm gonna repeat that. When the boss mode came out, the bosses were so unbalanced and broken, the only way to defeat them, people had to find ways to cheese the bosses. Whether it was trapping the boss outside the dome, or using damn near infinite healing, or using ranged weapons like the gun in order to cheese the boss, or to just glitch the boss in general so that you could kill it. Remember Yuhibaha's cloak, Yatwatch's cloak? When it first came out, it was like the best item in the game. And then they gutted the item to the point where it was worse than the other legendaries in the game. Why was something that was added newly into the game worse than stuff that were in the game since release? These guys don't know what balancing means. So what the heck are these guys balancing Rune Slayer for? Now, I watched a Balboa video where he said Setro has been playing Rune Slayer religiously since release. I'm not gonna lie, are we sure about that? Because Nano did a stream yesterday, and this is what Setro said in Nano's stream. Take a look at this.
Bags, they're planned to be enabled if you join a faction, so just wait for that update whenever it comes.
Maybe the safe zone is disabled if you're like in a faction. Maybe the safe zone is disabled if you're like in a faction.
Did I just hear that correctly? Not only are loot bags going to come back in a future update, Setro said maybe we're going to disable safe zones for people who are in factions to enable spawn camping? What are you even saying? What are you saying? Did you just say if you're in a faction, safe zones aren't gonna be a thing for you with loot bags enabled? What? Can you fire this guy, please? If you wanted the game to die at this fast of a rate, you could have gone in general chat and just picked a random and hired him to be a balancer in the game. You could have, because Sin, Saven, John, if you guys are watching this, Rune Slayer is a great game. However, do not let these guys take charge of anything balancing or content oriented in this game. If you are hiring these guys, please just let them add to the consistency and the pace of which updates that you guys have already planned are getting done at. They're meant to speed up the process, not ruin the process. What are we even, what am I hearing? Now, I didn't watch Nano's full stream because granted, I wasn't around. Holy War X movie came out and after that I just disappeared. But this cannot be real. Oh, this cannot be real. What the heck? This is not real, bro. There's just no way. Type Soul, Rune Slit, it doesn't even mix. Type Soul had terrible PvE. The PvP was decent. Wait, no, sorry. Guys, the community made a video of how bad Hakuda was. How unbalanced Hakuda was. Not YouTubers, not TikTokers, community members. If community members go out of their way to compile clips of how broken something is when your game is PvP oriented, just know it's bad. These guys don't have any knowledge of PvP or PvE oriented anything. I don't care how many hours Setro Boomin has so-called put into Rune Slayer, bro. This is not it. This is not it. I've heard 2 10-second clips and I'm already concerned. Why would you want to re-enable loot bags when the community went into a frenzy over just the thought of loot bags being put in the game, yet alone when they were put in the game? Oh my gosh. The amount of clips of people losing gold bars and fairies, etc. You want to put something like that back in the game? Now, let's actually talk about factions, because factions is already pretty, let's just say, scuffed. Now, it's bad enough that faction rep trading is already is a punishable offense. If you're caught in a rep trading server now, your account might get banned. I don't know what happens, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's either punishable by banning temporarily or permanently. I don't know. All I know is you're not allowed to rep trade anymore. Now, the reason why people are hosting rep trading servers is because gaining rep in this game is already terrible. First of all, there's no legitimate way of locating other people that are in different factions in the server other than running around aimlessly until you find them. And second of all, there's no designated zone where faction players are guaranteed to be. And third of all, there's no there needs to be some sort of quest or bounty board system with factions. It would make the most sense. Maybe you go to your faction area and there's a faction bounty board that has a list of players, and you could pick up 2 or 3 bounties from the faction board and hunt those players down. But no, there's nothing like that. So you're literally just aimlessly wandering around the map looking for people in different factions. I need you to realize how unproductive and unreasonable that is. There is no, that is why people were faction trading, rep trading. It was the most legitimate way to gain rep, because nobody wants to. And these guys could be anywhere, mind you mean. Inside the spider cave, they could be doing hill troll, or they could be anywhere. And you have to run around and search for these guys. Now, yes, it is annoying when people just camp in the safe zones when you're trying to hunt faction players. But people are in safe zones because it's a safe zone. Whether they're crafting or trading or getting things out of the storage, they're inside of a safe zone for a reason. So to just completely disable safe zones, the game isn't going to be productive to play. How am I meant to get things out of the storage or trade or sleep if I need health back? People could just spawn camp. I'm not gonna lie, this video was more of a rant video than a productive video. I just really feel like this is not the direction we want to take the game in, and I don't think Setro Booming has the, let's just say his resume isn't the best when it comes to things like balancing and providing updates. Hell update is almost 2 years old. This Hell update announcement is catching up to 2 years old since it was first leaked or first announced, and it still ain't here, mind you me. And when it does come, Hell update might even be trash, because the PvE in Type Soul is trash, and it's meant to be a PvE oriented zone with PvP enabled, mind you. But what? Honestly, I did not hire the right people for the job, if we're being quite honest. And as much as I like and love playing Rune Slayer, anyways, that's the end of it. I'm done ranting. I have nothing to say, man. That's a lie. I got way more to say. Okay, so there was an update, and all right, we don't need to scroll, we don't need to read none of this. Setro said he got a golden fairy, he's gonna give it away. Setro's now also talking about hot fixes and 1v1ing grunts using a stacked, probably maxed out build running grunts that probably most definitely don't have anything maxed out on to prove a point, I guess. One thing I want to say about this is clearly Cetro's type soul PvP brain isn't meshing correctly with Runeslayer. I don't care what any developer says. I don't care what the owners say. I don't care what anyone says. Runeslayer is not a PvP game. I'm gonna say, can we say it again? Let's say it again for everybody in the back. Runeslayer is not a PvP game. This game is not made for PvP. This is a good PvE oriented game, and PvE in this game is like an 8 out of 10. PvE in this game is like an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. PvP is like a 5 out of 10. It's interesting to do sometimes. You know, you finally maxed out your build and you got the runes on it. I want to see how quick I can kill someone. Cool. This is not a PvP game. And Cetro, I don't think he hasn't learned anything from his time deving in Type Soul. Clearly, Cetro is going to make PvP nerfs. He's going to gut people's PvE builds. Cetro is going to gut people's player versus environment builds because of situations he has in PvP, in player versus player scenarios. You're going to nerf a PvE game because of its PvP side, and its PvP side makes like 10% of the game, and Runeslayer's PvE side is 80, if not 90% of the game. So you're going to ruin the whole game because of the 10% side. Do you not see the issue here? Do you not see the issue here? So you completely gutting people's builds, which Cetro's going to do. I guarantee you, I haven't read the patch notes yet, but I guarantee you he's going to do, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, or a month from now, his decisions on what is nerfed is going to be based around PvP scenarios. And guess what? Those nerfs are going to ruin the PvE side of the game. And guess what happens when you ruin 80% of the game? People drop it. Especially when you farmed that said build for 100 hours at a time, for 20 hours at a time, 50 hours at a time, for it to get completely gutted because a PvP goon was set in charge of balancing. This guy couldn't even balance his own game, by the way. So now he's gonna... Anyways, I went off on a rant because I'm pretty annoyed that we finally got a good thing on Roblox that's gonna be taken away from us within the next couple of weeks, if not the next couple of months. Months might be a stretch, but I guarantee you this game's probably got like 8 or 10 weeks left before people stop playing it. Let's go to the update log and let's read this together. Central said this wasn't going to be a big update, so I'm not expecting a big update. One new uncommon spell scroll, one new legendary weapon. I don't even care to find out what that is, honestly. I'm a bit heated. I'll do all the research later. Bounty NPC in every town, that's good. You can cancel rope climbing, that's actually pretty good. My bad, or added keybinds. The first part of the message, apology. I don't know what does this even mean. I don't care. I think this is to get out of combat or something. It doesn't specify it here, unless I can't read. It's not specified what the fuck this means, but I'm assuming it's to get out of combat or to reduce your combat tag. Can purchase more guild slots of gold, whatever. Can kick people out, whatever. Added ×2 loot drops on weekends, enabled for Monday and Tuesday as well, for the hotfix being late. So this game's going to become deep woken with everybody having legendaries and enchanted gear and things of that nature. So the economy is going to dip. Legendaries are going to hold no value, and people are just going to stop playing the game. All right, cool. That's I just want to. This is every weekend from now on, by the way. So economy's in the gutter. And again, this is what happens when people don't listen. Shout out to that boy Red. I think Red is the only YouTuber that I've seen like actually speak about how bad it is to give the players everything. You just, when you make things to like supply and demand, bro. If everybody has everything, there's no value in anything anymore. Whatever, cool. Doing the 8 times for that one weekend is what it was cool. Especially it would have held value if that was the only time this game done that, or it does it every once in a blue moon, right? The only time the game's done that, reverts back to normal. People have to farm the hard way. Again, it would have created, you see how the economy kind of effed up with the ×8. If you don't do an event like that again for, let's say, 6 months or 2-3 months, the economy slowly starts to get back to normal. Supply and demand starts to pick back up again, and then boom, you do another big ×8 event. People, and it doesn't necessarily ruin the economy. It creates like people. It creates an influx of players coming into the game to farm for things that they wouldn't usually be able to get, and then over time starts to go back to normal. It would have been a good cycle for the game. 2 times every weekend, terrible. Within the next couple of weeks, everyone's gonna have everything in the game. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's already done. I don't care. I'm not speaking about it anymore. Holy Shield now has a 50-second cooldown. That's pretty big nerf. Ambush, Death Mark cooldown 25 seconds. It's a pretty, I guess that nerf is pretty needed, but at the same time, whatever. Piercing Thrust, nobody even uses that, whatever. Rampage lowered, I don't care. Smite, 3-second cooldown for Greatest Smite. I'm not gonna lie, Priest is already looking a bit bleak for Priest. Earth Wall reduced, don't care. This is a pretty huge nerf, but it is what it is. Let's see. Black Slime healing is I don't know. Okay, whatever. That's none of my business. I don't care about slimes. Armageddon passive reduced from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. That is because in my opinion the 6 seconds was quite a long time anyways. In a fight in Runeslayer, you're dead in 6 seconds. Unless you're fighting a really tanky warrior. In a fight in Runeslayer, you're dead in about 6, 10, 20 seconds. So, I mean, GG, I guess. GG, I guess. 9 seconds is a nerf, but it's not crazy, in my opinion. That extra 3 seconds is life-changing, but I don't think it's crazy. Armageddon Flame Pillar no longer hit stuns. This is a huge nerf to Armageddon. Armageddon's a legendary weapon, by the way. Legendary weapon, I'm assuming it's around 0.1 to 0.5. And you have to farm Fiends and Imps, some of the hardest mobs in the game. And not only is it some of the hardest mobs in the game, it's in Hell, where you take fire damage after like 45 seconds. Pretty huge nerf in my opinion. But let's continue reading. Armageddon Flame Pillar passive reduces heavily. Oh my gosh. Okay, it was quite broken, the damage, but this nerf, I'm not gonna lie, the nerf individually doesn't sound too terrible, but the nerf altogether is crazy. So it takes longer for the passive that makes Armageddon good, by the way, to actually proc. Not only that, when it does proc, it doesn't hit stun anymore, which means thieves and warriors are now just going to be able to pounce on you. And let's not forget, you are a mage that is super squishy with no armor, so you're going to die. And the damage was significantly reduced. Armageddon is one of the harder legendaries to actually farm. And this is clearly, I want to throw it out there, like I said before, this is clearly a PvP nerf. This is a PvP nerf that is going to affect PvE. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Ragnarok, again, this is clearly more PvP nerfs. By the way, this is not a PvP game. Anyone that's PvPing in this game is doing it for fun. Nobody's PvPing seriously. Again, even with the faction rep points things, people were literally making rep farming servers. Nobody wants to seriously PvP in this game. Nobody wants to try hard sweat PvP in Rune Slayer. And I had to say the name of the game just in case you thought we were playing Type Soul. Rune Soul. Nobody wants to try hard PvP in Rune Soul. These are PvP nerfs in the PvE game. I want to throw that one out there. Blink cooldown. Again, PvP nerfs in the PvE game. PvP nerfs in the PvE game. Sand shooters. PvP nerfs in the PvE game. Summer Fiend cooldown from 10 seconds to, PvP nerfs in the PvE game. I don't even care to read the rest of this. I don't really care. Holy Shield still, I mean, Priest got nerfed, so if you guys want to wipe your builds, I don't blame you. But I don't think there's any point of making a new build, if we're being quite honest, because it's going to end up getting nerfed anyways. So GG. GG, I have nothing more to say. We took 11 minutes of this segment alone. I guess I will timestamp for you guys. Game's cooked. I don't have anything to say. The game's cooked. Some of these nerfs, if you read it separately, low-key makes sense. But these are PvP nerfs in a PvE game. And I don't know why the developers want to make this a PvP game so badly. It's good that the game has PvP features and cater towards PvP, but there should be separate things catered towards the PvP players, whether it's some sort of Coliseum that's added, or separate game mode, or a different instance area that grants you separate PvP rewards other than faction things. Vesteria did it well. A Coliseum that grants you PvP rewards, and the rewards within the Coliseum cycle weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. But this ain't it. This is not it, man. It's not it. It is what it is, though. I'm not gonna lie, man. Anyone that takes PvP seriously in this game is an actual fool anyways. So good job, I guess.